This guy is not related to these Koopas, and these Koopas are not the children of this Koopa, but at some point they were. Make sense? Introducing the Prince of all Koopas, Bowser Jr. This little guy is the one and only child of Bowser. At least that's what Nintendo says. And most of the time you'll find him serving as a recurring antagonist in the Mario franchise. But from time to time hasn't been shy about teaming up with his enemies for the greater good. I wanted to show him a little bit of love, so let's dive into the origins of Bowser Jr. Oh yeah, and I guess we can talk about the Koopalings too. I'm TheMentok and welcome to Origin Oracle. Grab some snacks, relax, and let's head back in time. Bowser Jr.'s first appearance was in Super Mario Sunshine, released for the Nintendo GameCube in 2002. You could consider him the main antagonist of this title since the majority of the plot involves Bowser Jr. disguising himself as the imposter, Shadow Mario. Before I continue though, big announcement! I have an editor on board now, yay! Everyone welcome Alex from the late hours, who will be helping me get these videos edited and uploaded for you. I'll have a link to his channel in the description below. Alex, you have like 2 seconds to introduce yourself, make it quick.
You're not really fun, but you just...
Oh, hi, I didn't see you there. I'm Alex Flores from the late hours. I make gaming content with friends. Wait, I don't just make gaming content. Wait, give me more time.
Get back to work. But seriously, go check out his stuff. He's a talented editor and I'm excited to have him helping me out so I can focus on giving you guys more types of content. So look out for new segments in the future. Okay, back to Super Mario Sunshine. The game begins with Mario, Peach, and some of her Toad subjects heading off to the tropical resort Al Delfino for a vacation. After a rough landing, they discover that the runway is covered in some weird goop, which leads Mario to play hero once again and assist in the search for something to clean it. Enter Flood, the flash liquidizer ultra dousing device, invented by Professor E. Gadd, making his return from Luigi's mansion. This machine dubs Mario as its customer, who utilizes its groundbreaking water spraying technology to wash away the goop from the runway. I'd love to see a Flood cameo in Power Wash Simulator one day now that I think about it. Nintendo, make this happen.
Give me the power, I beg of you!
Mario is arrested by the authorities under the charges of destruction of public property as it's revealed that the entire island is covered in goop that was spread around by a mysterious individual that looks exactly like Mario. Mario is found guilty and detained on the island until he's cleaned up everything. So convicted felon Mario goes on an adventure with his new flood device to clear the island of all the goop and graffiti left behind by this Shadow Mario. The main mechanics of the game surround Mario utilizing Flood, mixing his 3D platforming formula implemented in Super Mario 64 with all the water-based capabilities of the Flood device. So after you collect enough of these shine sprites, which serves as the main collectible in this game, Shadow Mario kidnaps Princess Peach. And during his pursuit, Mario will go up against Shadow Mario and his giant mech Mecha Bowser before Shadow Mario finally reveals himself to be Bowser's son, Bowser Jr.
My mama alone, you bad man.
We learn that he's trying to nab Princess Peach since his father told him that she is his mother, kidnapped by the notorious villain Mario. And this explains why he attempted to frame Mario in the first place by desecrating the whole island. Turns out the paintbrush he's been using to vandalize everything was given to him by Professor E. Gadd, and we never seem to hold the professor accountable for doing so. So Junior escapes with Peach in tow, bringing her back to Corona Mountain where the final showdown will take place. Convicted felon Mario gives chase to the top of the mountain where he takes on not only Bowser Jr., but Bowser himself in their first father-son battle in the series. Of course, convicted felon Mario is victorious, saving the princess in the process. And as the game comes to a close, we do get a touching scene between Bowser and Jr., with Bowser confessing that Princess Peach is not Jr.'s mother, but at this point, Jr. was already fully aware of that and expresses his desire to fight Mario again when he grows up.
I wanna fight that Mario again.
Which is weird because he fights him as a child several times after this. So with that said, let's get this question out the way. If Peach isn't Bowser Jr.'s mother, then who is? Well, I'll come out with it, there's no legitimate answer to this question, and it's not like Nintendo hasn't been asked this before. In a Mario trivia video with Miyamoto, he simply points to himself when asked who Bowser Jr.'s mother is. It's a charming and humorous answer, I get that, but what a cop-out. This does give room for them to reveal the baby mama one of these days if they ever wanted to introduce a new villain, but that would probably get in the way of the whole Bowser obsession with kidnapping and marrying Peach. But I'd love to see a Mario episode with Bowser finding out that he's not the father.
You are not the father.
You know what's funny? I could actually see that plotline working for something like Paper Mario or something. Anyway, I would talk about how they came up with the character, but that information doesn't seem to be available online, and I haven't been able to track down any interviews on the matter. But it's safe to say that Yoshiaki Koizumi was one of the major players involved in Bowser Jr.'s creation. Super Mario Sunshine would be his first time up to bat as director alongside Kenta Usui, with Shigeru Miyamoto and Takashi Tezuka serving as the producers. Unfortunately, most of their discussions surrounding Super Mario Sunshine are about the game itself and how they decided to implement the FLUDD mechanics. Over the years, I've seen Bowser Jr. also get confused with Baby Bowser from the Yoshi series, and while over time they've begun to look a little similar, Baby Bowser is established as a younger version of Bowser, so just want to get that confusion out of the way. But I'm waiting for the day where they end up in the same game due to time travel shenanigans. So after Super Mario Sunshine, Bowser Jr. would make frequent appearances in the Mario franchise. Most of the time, he's a secondary antagonist like in New Super Mario Bros. For the Nintendo DS, where he's actually the one to kidnap Princess Peach. As you progress through the various worlds in this game, Mario battles Jr. multiple times after successfully killing Bowser in a pit of lava in the first world. Yeah, this actually happens. Jr. is even a part of the final boss once again, joining a resurrected Bowser in the fight against Mario. So from here on, Bowser Jr. has a similar role throughout the mainline Mario games, making appearances as a major boss battle in the Super Mario Galaxy games and the other new Super Mario Bros. Titles. But as of this video, his latest major mainline appearance was in the added game mode in the Switch re-release of Super Mario 3D World, Bowser's Fury. Bowser's Fury opens with Mario discovering a trail of black goop in front of Peach's castle, leading to some graffiti that transports him to Lake Lapcat, a random set of islands that has a cat theme going for it. But the where isn't as important as the what. Bowser has turned into a massive raging kaiju named Fury Bowser. Was Bowser finally done with Mario's shit once and for all? Well, after you ward him off the first time with a beam of light from one of the lighthouses in Lake Lapcat, Mario stumbles upon Bowser Jr., who is visibly concerned about the state of his father. While it's not explicitly explained, Bowser Jr. turns out to be the cause, using his magic paintbrush one day to paint Bowser black while he was sleeping, which turns him into this angry, all-powerful, corrupted version of Bowser. Someone should probably confiscate this damn paintbrush from Jr. once and for all. So Jr. teams up with Mario to transform Bowser back to normal, going on a journey across Lake Lapcat to gather together power-ups called Gigabells, which transforms Mario into Giga Cat Mario, giving him the power to face Fury Bowser. In the final showdown between Giga Cat Mario and Fury Bowser, Bowser finally manages to expel all the black paint corrupting him, but in his giant enraged form, has one last battle with Mario. I love this game so much. And after he's defeated, Bowser comes to his senses and still has smoke from Mario, but Bowser Jr. holds him back, taking into account all he's done for him during the events of the game. The two finally make their leave, but not before Jr. threatens Mario one last time. Though there's not much to this story, it does give Jr. some additional character, and not only does it show the love he has for his dad, but his willingness to put all differences aside to come to his aid. As the credits roll, we see all the paintings by Bowser Jr. telling his version of the events of the game. And I must say, this one of the two of them watching the sunset together is actually really cute. This is such a weird little campaign they put in here because while the mechanics are heavily based on Super Mario 3D World, it adds a lot of interesting and over-the-top elements that I think were a nice little departure from traditional Mario gameplay, like these massive kaiju battles Mario has with Bowser. We see a similar scenario occur in Paper Mario: The Origami King, where Mario joins forces with Bowser Jr. to rescue Bowser, held captive in his own castle by the main antagonist of the game, the Legion of Stationery. Don't sleep on this game either. I know there's a lot of Paper Mario purists out there, but I think they got this one right. Much like the rest of the Mario cast, Bowser Jr. is heavily featured in spin-off games like Mario Golf, Mario Kart, Mario Tennis, and other sports titles. And even though he appears in multiple Mario Party titles, surprisingly he's only playable in Mario Party Island Tour and Super Mario Party. Every other time he's either a boss character or has some kind of cameo appearance. But he does make an appearance within the Mario & Luigi series, more specifically as an optional boss within Mario & Luigi Dream Team for the 3DS. It isn't until the final entry in this series, Mario & Luigi Paper Jam, that we see Jr. properly included within the plot. But let's pause here for a moment. I think we need to discuss the elephants in the room. All of you people out there that have fallen off the Mario wagon since the Super Nintendo days must be wondering what happened to Bowser's original kids, the Koopalings. I'm talking about all these games and there's no acknowledgement of Bowser Jr.'s potential siblings? I mean, when they first appeared in Super Mario Bros. 3, they were introduced as the 7 children of Bowser. The instructions manual may as well scream this at the player. So before we get back to Bowser Jr., let's see what Nintendo originally had in mind for this group. So they were originally the major boss fights taking place on the airship in each land of Mushroom World in Super Mario Bros. 3. Mario and Luigi will take each of them on and retrieve the magic wand to return to the ruler of each land they visit. And the Koopalings are comprised of Larry, Roy, Wendy, Iggy, Morton, Lemmy, and Ludwig. Their appearances all being rather unique, but admittedly, I mix up Larry and Lemmy all the time.
Corporate needs you to find the differences between this picture and this picture.
Funny enough, these names were established by the American localization team, based on famous musicians and composers, which they would eventually end up adopting in Japan. They were in fact nameless within the Japanese version of the game. Not even the original Japanese manual has their names there yet. So the very first time we'd see these names was within the pages of the Western instructions manual for Super Mario Bros. 3. So while we refer to them as Koopalings in the West, that moniker wasn't used within both Super Mario Bros. 3 or Super Mario World. Both manuals simply refer to them as Bowser's 7 children. I had to do some digging to track down the first use of the name Koopalings, and that honor goes to the DiC cartoon, Adventures of Super Mario Bros. 3. In the very first episode, premiering in September 1990, Bowser collectively refers to his children as Koopalings. So I guess people got used to that name after watching the show and it stuck from there. Funny enough, this show premiered before the game was released in America, so each of the Koopalings have completely different names than what was established in the game's manual. Alex, I'm not gonna give you any context. Match the names with images without Googling it. So in the cartoon, they were called Hip, Hop, Cheatsy, Pookie, Big Mouth, Bully, and Cootie Pie? So if you were curious, I can't find the name Koopalings in any Mario titles or instructions manual until Yoshi's Safari, which was released in America in September 1993. The Koopalings were originally sketched out by Yoichi Kotabe, the lead artist of the Mario series at the time, with help from Takashi Tezuka, the other major player that works alongside Miyamoto as the producer for the series. Their original designs can be traced back as far as 1986, with Miyamoto revealing in the Mario Mania Player's Guide that their final designs were based on their design team. So they'd appear again as major antagonists in Super Mario World, each having their own castle and boss fight to overcome during Mario's journey. And around this time, these guys were everywhere. In the Mario cartoons, comic books, educational spin-offs, bosses in Yoshi's Safari, the 1993 live-action movie to an extent, in the form of Iggy and Spike, and even that trash Philips CDI game, Hotel Mario, has them guarding the 7 hotels within the game. Leave a comment below if you want me to actually make a video about Hotel Mario. So the Koopalings were pretty much everywhere, and then one day Nintendo just stopped acknowledging them for about a decade. Which brings us back to the Mario and Luigi series, with Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga released for the Game Boy Advance in 2003. All of the Koopalings make a triumphant return to serve as bosses within Bowser's castle at the very end of the game. In the 3DS remake of the game Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga plus Bowser's Minions, there's an extra story mode included called Minion Quest: The Search for Bowser. It takes place alongside Mario and Luigi's adventures, starring a Goomba within Bowser's ranks, battling against enemies to rescue their boss. He'd eventually be dubbed Captain Goomba, rallying Bowser's army to track down and save Bowser, who was more or less indisposed at this time by the actual villains of this game. The Koopalings are also featured within this side plot and are depicted as the highest ranking members of Bowser's army, which in turn has them treat the rest of the troops like shit. But Captain Goomba has the opportunity of recruiting them during his quest, eventually gaining their respect. From 2003 onward, the Koopalings found their way back into the Mario series, joining Bowser Jr. as the antagonist within New Super Mario Bros. Wii in 2009. There's nothing too special about their appearance here plot-wise, but I remember when this game came out, it was kind of a big deal that we were seeing the Koopalings in a mainline Mario title for the first time since Super Mario World. Fun fact, this would be the first mainline Mario game outside of remakes to refer to them as Koopalings. But this game brought into question the relationship between Bowser and the Koopalings, with official websites referring to them as Bowser's minions instead of his children. And to follow this up, in 2012, Miyamoto would state within an interview that the current story is that the 7 Koopalings are not Bowser's children. I decided to take this a step further and see how the Koopalings are collectively addressed in Japan, and the naming convention has changed quite a bit over the years. In the Japanese instructions booklet for Super Mario Bros. 3, they're known as Kokoopa Shichi Kyodai, which can roughly translate to young Koopa siblings, or the 7 young Koopa siblings. In Super Mario World, this is changed to Kokoopa Shichi Ninshu, or a team of 7 little Bowsers. So this could still be interpreted as children of Bowser, but in their appearance in Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga in 2003, they're called Koopa Gundan, translating to Little Bowser Corps. So since this was shortly after Bowser Jr.'s introduction, I wouldn't be surprised if they were trying to slowly phase out the concept of them being Bowser's kids. Finally, in the new Super Mario Bros. Series, they're demoted to Koopa no Teshita, meaning Bowser's minions. And I think this confused other employees at Nintendo as well. There's even a jab at the mystery of their relationship with Bowser in Smash for Wii U, with Pit, Palutena, and Veridi giving commentary on this.
The relationship between Bowser and the Koopalings is a real mystery.
I kind of feel bad for them.
That's sweet of you, but not very conducive to taking them down, Pit.
Speaking of which, Bowser Jr. was given a slot as a fighter within the game, with his moveset relying mostly on his Junior Clown car to fight. But as an added bonus, the Koopalings can serve as alternate costumes for Junior, which I still think is pretty damn cool since they all have unique voice clips for each Koopaling. The announcer even says each distinct name whenever you select them. Anyways, this brings us back to Mario & Luigi Paper Jam for the 3DS, released in 2015, which based on the dialogue in this game completely cuts familial ties between the Koopalings and Bowser, since they're treated simply as his minions. It's up in the air whether they're even siblings still. But within Paper Jam, they have a larger role as antagonists, causing trouble for Mario and Luigi throughout the game, and having one last rumble during the events of the finale before they're defeated for good. Though they are overshadowed quite a bit by Bowser Jr. This whole game serves as a crossover with the Paper Mario series, with Mario and Luigi working with their paper counterparts after Luigi accidentally releases them from their book. The paper versions of Bowser, Bowser Jr., and Kamek are all released from the book and team up with their counterparts to do evil things. Junior and Paper Bowser Jr. make fast friends, and this friendship is another wholesome moment for the character. While they spend a lot of time guarding the kidnapped Princess Peaches, they contemplate whether or not they should just get rid of the Paper Mario book so Paper Bowser Jr. never has to go home. And then this friendship comes to a climax when they encounter Mario and the gang, who try to desperately get the book back from them, but the juniors ain't having any of that. So they work in perfect harmony to try and fight them off. And in this boss battle, they can even revive each other if one of them is KO'd for too long. But as always, Mario is victorious, but the two juniors reflect on the fun times they had together and their special friendship.
I will remember you.
But the emotions don't end there. Both Bowsers enter the room right after the fight, only to discover the heavily injured juniors. Devastated by their injuries, they cradle the juniors in their arms and vow to turn Mario to a crisp as revenge. Plot twist, they fail at this, but Mario and the gang get everything thrown at them in the finale, facing the Kameks, waves of Goombas, Koopas, Spinies, Hammer Bros, Shy Guys, and the Koopalings in the end, leading to their fight with Bowser and Paper Bowser. Mario manages to retrieve the book back and seals away Paper Bowser, and the game ends with all the paper versions of the characters returning back into the book as well. Bowser Jr. and his counterpart are never seen in the game again after their boss fight, so it's sad to think about Paper Bowser Jr. being forced back into his world, never able to see his friend again. This would be the final original Mario and Luigi game before Alpha Dream, the development studio responsible for the series, would go on to remake Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, and the third title in the series, Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story. While Bowser Jr. wasn't included in the original release of Bowser's Inside Story, this remake includes a new game mode called Bowser Jr.'s Journey. Similar to Minion Quest, The Search for Bowser, Bowser Jr. goes on his own journey while Bowser and the Mario Brothers are busy during the events of the game. And Jr. sets out to find the cure for the Blorbs, a mysterious disease affecting the Mushroom Kingdom that causes those it infects to inflate into larger and round versions of themselves. It also starts to impact Bowser's troops, so to make his papa proud, Jr. sets out to find ingredients for a Skeleton Formula D. I'm not telling you what the D stands for. But this mixture is supposed to cure the Blorbs, and the recipe is given to Junior by the Best Fitness friends, who will later find out were sent by the game's antagonist Fawful to infiltrate Bowser's castle and leave it defenseless. So they send Junior along with a majority of the Koopalings on this errand. As you can imagine, there's a lot of bickering between Junior and his former siblings. But as the plot begins to unravel and Junior understands that the best fitness friends are his true enemies, he begins to grow as a character, sticking his neck out for the Koopalings and pulling them out of dicey situations. Once they're all at his side again, he apologizes for how he treated them, and they all head back to Bowser's castle for the final showdown against the best fitness friends. This boss battle, as all final bosses should, has 3 total phases, but Junior is victorious, giving his father, who is busy saving the kingdom, a home to come back to after he helps Mario and Luigi. There's one scene at the end where Ludwig informs Bowser of how much Junior had grown throughout the events of the game, which has Bowser challenge Junior to a fight to see for himself. They end up fighting each other non-stop for 2 weeks to settle the score. Now this is what I call father-son bonding. I genuinely love the Mario and Luigi series, but Alpha Dream would file for bankruptcy in 2019, pretty much ending that series along with it. I'm not saying it's gone for good, but I don't think we'll be seeing another game like this for a little while. So hopefully the Super Mario RPG remake opens the door to similar types of games. And personally, I'm actually looking forward to what's next for Paper Mario. Anyways, ladies and gents, that is the origin of the children of Bowser, Bowser Jr. and Koopalings, who are now minions of Bowser. And I know I probably missed a few details here and there, but my hope is that we'll see either Bowser Jr. or the Koopalings in a Mario movie sequel. But I'm very curious to see how they would handle that, seeing they didn't make an appearance in the first one. It'd be weird if he just had kids popping up randomly, right? But given all the hints of Yoshi being involved in the next title, which could mean a movie based on Super Mario World, I would place my bets on the Koopalings being featured somehow. But let me know in the comments what you'd like Nintendo to do with Junior or the Koopalings in the future. And as always, be safe. The Prophet has spoken.